Alright everybody, thanks for joining me again. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, my name's Chris and I'm here on the family farm. Today I'm back at the sawmill. I'm going to be getting that fired up, cutting a bit of cedar. But first, for anybody who's maybe just bought a Woodland Mills sawmill, I'm just going to take you through a couple tips. One of them I just noticed, it's the track getting out of level, so I'll show you how you can tell. Alright, so I'm just going to walk you up to the mill here. And what I usually do is just slide it back and forth across the track. And what you want to look for is these wheels to make sure they're all spinning and all have weight on them. Now, I'm going to focus you right on this wheel. And if you can tell there, as I move this back, there's a little spot here. About a 2-foot spot, 1-foot spot where the wheel's not touching the rail. That kind of tells me that something's happened in this spot here to throw the track off a level. So I'm gonna get out my level, a wrench, and see what's going on. So in other videos I've watched, I've seen some people that use laser levels or lines, and I'm sure that's a great way, probably even better than what I'm doing here, but what I have available to me is just a 4-foot level, so I've been using that. And originally I always try to get this just as level as I possibly can using the level, and you can see here that the one side, which would be the right side on the camera, is falling down just a bit. So I'm just gonna go over here onto the right side and tighten up a few of those leveling legs. The leveling legs are just right there, and you just use the bolts to lift the track up. Okay guys, so I'm gonna try to film this as I do it. It might be kind of difficult, but I apologize. I just want you to see I've loosened the bolt because this side has to go up. I've just loosened the bolt on the top, and now I'm going to tighten the bolt underneath where my wrench is here, and that's going to bring this side of the track up. And I don't know, hopefully you can see there that as I do this, it should start getting more level as I bring this side up here. I'm gonna come over and have a look now. Yeah, so you can see how that's pretty much bang on level now. I'm gonna go along and check each section of track, and then I'm also gonna flip my level around this way from side to side. Sticking there, but I'm gonna do that and get this way level too, and then once it's all level, I'll recheck how the mill's sliding on the track, and I'll check back to you then, because I think after I've shown you how to do one here, it's going to be kind of boring just watching me do the same thing over and over again. So I'll check back with you then. Well, I got the track all leveled up there. Like I was saying, that's not the only way to do it, but if you're like me and you just have a level and a wrench and you find your tracks out of level, it seems to work good for me. So that's how I've been doing it so far. I've only had the mill for 6 months, so it is a learning process, but the lumber that I'm getting off the mill seems to be great so far. So now, since these are just cedar logs, I'm just going to hand bomb them up here rather than going to get a tractor. By hand bombing, I mean I'm just going to use my cant hook here. I got a couple 4-wheeler ramps, and I'll just roll the log up on there like that. Now, if you're like me, guys, and you got a lot of cedar or other trees that have a big taper in them, meaning for this log, for instance, on the far end, it is 9 inches in diameter, and this end's almost 7 inches. This toe board is what you need. I picked that up from Woodland Mills, and it just comes with this little hand crank. You can hook a drill or impact gun up to it too, but this seems to work pretty good rather than lugging more tools out. But you just crank it up until you kind of split the difference, if you know what I mean. Your saw's going to run level, so you want to get the most lumber out of your log as you want to get as much lumber out of your log as possible. And by doing this, you make sure you're not taking a whole bunch off the big end before you even start getting into the small end. I'd say that's the ticket right there. Okay guys, you have a tiny bit of patience with me here. This is about the first full board that I've cut off since adjusting. So, if you're curious, I'll try to get you in here while I check it out. We're right on 7/8. Over here, we're right on 7/8. I don't know. Try to hold it so you can see down there. Pretty nice cut. Flip it around. Right on 7/8. Right on 7/8. So it cuts quality lumber, that's for sure, guys. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that little demonstration on the Woodland Mills hm126. That log you saw me cutting up, if you watched my last video, it was just the top of one of those little cedar trees, so sometimes it's surprising how much you actually get when it doesn't look like much. I ended up getting 5 12-foot boards. They're 5 inches wide by 7/8 thick. And I'm quite happy with that because I know I'm going to get a lot more out of the bigger section. Anyways, I think that's it for me today. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.